So thanks, Narasimha, for introducing me. I have a good cybersecurity background. I have CISM from ISACA and other certifications in my loop. And before starting my own with cyber I have working experience not only with Mondelez International as CISO, but I have worked more in the banks. I have worked with JP Morgan, Axis Bank, and earlier with HP, I was working as a ethical hacker and penetration tester. So that's been my overall experience. And the topic which we have today is to talk about the different fields in IT which is getting evolved. We will be talking about all of this in detail, like what AI/ML is, what is drone robotics, autonomous cars, mixed reality, IoT, 5G, big data, 3D printing, a lot about that. Okay, so the plan or the one openness which I wanted to hear when everyone in the industry, either it's people are doing MBAs or BTech or coming out and they want to talk about business. Everyone is talking about emerging technologies, and the CISOs, even the CIOs, CTOs, CEOs, everyone is talking about it because today the business is evolving. And then with this COVID, we have seen that digital revolution coming in India as well. But globally, it's from last 10 years, we have seen how IT has changed how the face of the business. So now IT is no more a support function. We are not using it to just print some papers or have some database or Excel data or just for the record purposes. But now it is driving the business. Without IT, the businesses will not flourish, right? Each and every business today is dependent upon IT. We have seen how Zomato, how Uber, how Airbnb, and how these new age startups, all unicorns, if we see today, they are based on emerging technologies. Even if you talk about Amazon, if you talk about Tesla, if you talk about Apple, everyone is using emerging technologies and IT based on that. And if the business is not not using IT, they are going to be far behind it. So everyone is consuming it. Okay, and now IT is enabling the business. How IT become a enabler from a support function just because of these emerging technologies. When these technologies adopted by the businesses, so businesses started realizing or more use of IT to increase the productivity. Okay, I'll give you some example like how I have seen myself from these emerging technologies getting used into the world where I have been into. I have worked with JP Morgan and Axis Bank, and I have seen how the banking revolution has happened, how big data are getting integrated into the systems, how artificial intelligence is getting built in there, how automation is getting driven, right? So now we are not going to the banks, right? So banks are coming, has come to our mobile. We can just do the transactions. We can just pass on everything without any delays. The RTGS, then IMPS, the technology which is leveraging, or the fraudless transaction which are happening, the bank is started using the AI and big data based engine. Even the chatbots, right? Even based on our behavioral thing, bank is now proposing the different kind of solutions. A lot of technologies is working in there. But when I move to the manufacturing, okay, I see the word is a little very different. The technologies which are getting adopted is at a next level. I just give you an example that when I was with Mondelez back in 2017, we started with our one of the factory which opened up in Siri city in Chennai, and there is one factory which is traditional factory which we have in Baddi in Himachal Pradesh. So that particular factory has around 4,500 blue collar workers and overall staff working over there, and produces around 50,000 tons of chocolate. Okay, but when the factory which set up in Siri city is kind of art of technology. It has all automation, it has robotics, it has belt conveyor from the mixture of chocolate to making the mold of the chocolate and then putting it together and packaging and putting it, or using the autonomous vehicle and shifting it to the warehouse. So everything is automated and technology driven. So overall, when this factory became, so it was like, if the Pati factory is using 4500, how many people it should be using? I think overall job created in that particular factory was somewhere around 1300 people compared to 4500 in one factory, but the chocolate production was four times. So instead of 50,000 tons here, there we used to have 2 lakhs ton of chocolate. So you see, because of IT, the how the business developed in the same amount of time with less manual work, the chocolate production become four times the reduction of resources. So it's a 12-time growth just because of these emerging technologies used in a business. Now, with using these businesses, these emerging technologies into the businesses, your risk also increase, right? So earlier, if you are just using an for a support function, even if your IT system is dead or it's just been there for some time, it doesn't matter much, right? It may be, you say, okay, it will come out after 2 days, it will come after in a week or so. But if it is hampering your business, you will not able to sustain. I think most of you are security professionals and should be aware of the concepts of RTO and RPO, right? How recovery time objective and recovery point objective works. And if the system is not useful to you, or it's just a support, you have a bigger RTO, right? But if it is built in the business, you have a lesser RTO, and because the impact of the same increased. So that is where emerging technologies has evolved and added into the business, and business is now growing. And to impact the business, we, the hackers and crime, the people have started putting their more forces to attack those kind of technologies. So now the traditional attack won't work. People want to they are using or consuming these technologies, so they are putting it back and hacking those technologies. So a lot of things are happening in this space. Most of the advertisement words, right? I'm just giving some example, and then we will definitely go deep dive into these scenarios. I'm just setting up the context now. So if you have seen Cadbury's advertise, because this is something which comes from my experience, and I will always love to share my experience instead of reading something from somewhere and then putting in here. So we did this data analytics advertisement in Mondelez International. So if anyone of you seen the Diwali advertisement where they said, buy things from the local people. So what that advertisement was, it used the data points based on your location, and on the back end, a big, huge database was built in for the local shops around a particular area, like within 50 kilometers area. What are the popular shops that the database was put in? And if you are sitting in Mumbai, you will find some places in within the 50 kilometers of your area. If you are in Pune, you will find the spaces over there. If you are in Kashmir or in Kanyakumari, you will get the different places just simply on a YouTube video, right? So that is how the integration of the things are happening. Health industry or aviation or everything, that the emerging technologies coming in, right? So we need to prepare. So it maybe do will it change our jobs as well as security professional? Will the compliance as a code is the new thing which is coming in? Do artificial intelligence will start tracking all the bugs, all the risks, and will it mold in a way that they don't need any auditor or any risk professional? So what is going to be the future? That there are big questions around that. But the concept or the thing which we need to understand today is, we need to understand these technologies. And whenever someone talks about emerging technologies, so you see on my screen, right, Have you seen cybersecurity over there? So big question. So no one. So wherever you go, either you go to Gartner or you go to any other thing, or any research, any firm, any CEO, when they talk about emerging technologies, they don't talk about cybersecurity as a technology as a separately. So no CEO says, okay, I want to list in here AI, big data, IoT, cybersecurity. It's not there. So cybersecurity, the role of cybersecurity is required to be inherent in each of these functions. Cybersecurity is not a separate technology. Cybersecurity need to be built into in all of this. So when we say AI/ML, it need to be secure AI/ML. It's IoT, it need to be secure IoT, right? Robotics, we need to have the secure robotics. So what is going to happen is, uh, cybersecurity is not going to be a separate function monitoring each and every activity. Cybersecurity will be a overall grounded function which will set the policy standards and a cyber judgment. Okay, so I'm using this cyber judgment. So even if you have seen the Gartner's research, they have last year have promoted this thing that decentralizing the cyber security decisions. So far, in if you have seen last 10 years research or whatever we read or do, so far everyone is promoting a centralized cybersecurity decision, so that it's a CISO tower who will say and approve everything, who will say and approve every document. But now when businesses are moving and growing at a pace where the products or features are required for a few days. Like I give you an example again from my experience. Like in Mondelez International, we were operating in 126 countries, and China has their own festival own dates. Vietnam has their own festival own dates. India has their own festival and own dates. With their team size of 20 people, okay, can you operate in 126 countries and review each and every architecture document in different language, and then make sure that it's not impacting you? It's near to impossible, because China says, okay, for this Chinese calendar year, I am putting up a new gamification product which will be live for 15 days. I am getting a vendor who will work for this, and we are going live for 15 days, and after that it will be shut down. So how now you are going to make sure it's not tampering your data? Somewhere you are, it's going to get in touch with Mondelez, and, devices and all. How it's going to happen? So that change. So that is where the cyber judgment comes in play, where CISO will define a set of rules, where the businesses in different verticals can check. Okay, so this is meeting my conditions. Yes. Okay, on board. I am authorized to. So creating a business enabled CISOs for each and every technology who can actually take uh, decisions on cyber judgment. So that is what emerging technologies will bring to us, where to have this secure, we need to change the way we are thinking. This is gonna impact our work. This is what gonna impact the business, and it will impact cybersecurity in a big way as well. Okay, so let me start with the artificial intelligence, the very first use. So, artificial intelligence means a simulation of human intelligence in machine that are programmed to think like human and mimic their actions. Okay, it's simple. Like you are having a software which has the algorithm based in a lot of research, which acts or things like a human. So it has so much of data that based on that data, the algorithm itself can do it decision making, right? So there is nothing like it's new, but it has the functionality where it can actually take inputs and digest more and more data, and then can take the decision. So like if your brain can think of something, so this AI has so much loops in between, and it has a data from lakhs of crores of brains, and it can operate based on that, and they had a big analyzed engine which will give you the decision, right? So it seems like it's sometimes act as more smarter than human brain, because it is powered and it has data from multi million peoples together. So AI, it is again a combination of machine learning. Machine learning, when we say machine learning itself, right? So it has capability to learn by itself. So we say, like, how many of you have used Siri at home or in your mobile, right? So Siri or Alexa, what they do whenever you say something, they interpret, they respond, and they actually comment, put that data in the feed. They are continuously listening to us. So, like, many claims that, like, even Amazon claim we are not listening you all the time, we are not. Siri, Apple says we are not listening you all the time, but they are listening. The advertisement these days are coming as we speak about something. You will be able to see some advertisement as you say Siri will respond to you. So if they are listening to us continuously, then only they will able to respond, right? But if they are recording this or not, or if they are acting on the keywords, so that is a separate question. So what AI do? So today you go to YouTube, you click on a video, you watch it for some time, then click on another video. The third video, it will recommend you automatically, right? So that is how it learns your behavior. So most of the tools today, either it's Apple Music or Amazon Music or Ghana, or it's on social media, like you go to Instagram or you go to Facebook, you scroll for some time, you like few posts, next day you will able to see the post of those people more. The one which you are skipping, you will see less going forward. So they are actually learning your behavior. If you look into the documentary. I don't know how many of you have seen The Great Hack on Netflix. So they have talk about all the election, theory and the controversies which happened at the time of Donald Trump, and they talk about a lot of about Facebook, how they monitor and things as well. So the one biggest point they make, uh, the Cambridge Analytic controversy which they are talking about. So one thing which they talk was every person, okay, every person, they are having a 5,000 data point of one person. So like if they are tracking me and Gaurav Batra on Facebook, so Facebook know or have 5,000 different data points for me, like what I like, what I wear, how I respond to a comment, and the things like that. So the same way, these what you call, if I say myself, or if I ask you how many data points you can list about yourself, I don't know, 25, 30, what will be your answer on that? Right. So if even I ask my wife, she will able to write 10, 15, or if I start writing myself more than 50, I know what I like, what my foods are. If you start asking these questions to yourself, what is your favorite place? What is your favorite food? What is your favorite color? What kind of dress you like to wear? So apart from that, how many data points you can get? 5,000 data points is like based on your behavior, based on your language, based on stuff. They are monitoring us all the time. They are learning about us, and then they sell advertisement. We know about the fact, right? Everyone know about the text. So the paid advertisement, if anyone of you have tried, they ask you for the interest, they ask you for the location, you pay, and the advertisement work in that way. So that is whole based on artificial intelligence. But artificial intelligence learning is comes with a risk as well, because who in today's world, right? If I ask you a question, who knows you best? Is it you, your spouse, your parents? The answer is Google, right? Google, because when you are alone, when you are not thinking, when you are typing something, searching about something, you are researching. Sometimes subconscious consciousness we put something in, search and we forgot about it. But Google always remember that you have searched about this. So the best person or best technology which knows us is the Google, and they have all lot of interpretation about this. That is where if, even if you are traveling, they will show you. Okay, so this is the route you should take. This is how you drive. This much time how you will take. Sometimes try, Google sometimes shows while you are driving, different times in two different mobiles, because based on a mobile tracking, how much time you took to drive to a particular location, that also it has started figuring out. Okay, based on your driving skills. So a lot of improvements happening in that area. But the thing is, we are fine with the Google, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, because we know we are using their product, we are giving them data, and if we want or not, but we are giving them the data, right? How they are going to use is the question, and we know somewhere they will be regulated by the government agencies, or somewhere we can have. Means even if we don't want, we know that okay, these are big companies and we have given the data and they will somewhere take care of it. But what we are doing is we are giving our data to everyone. We are giving our data to a game which we don't know who developed it. We are giving our data to the application which don't even know that information, like book my show. Why they need to access my photos? When I install Paytm, they ask my calls, SMS, and everything. So lot of these things. So what is happening is everyone is trying to do a intelligence-based data, structure for a particular person, or they are trying to put that person's so that more advertisement or more things or those can be sell to that person. So only those companies are not using, but in artificial intelligence, even hackers are using the same. I'll tell you, from the perspective of a case study. So back in 2016, there was a SBI card fraud which has happened, and which has happened for a company in Bangalore itself. So you guys are in Bangalore, you can search about it. So Aircel was there. I don't know if the still Aircel operates over there. So the customers of Aircel were targeted who have the bank account or in the SBI. Okay. So what was there? Most of us like goes to the malls and fill those forms, and we also give our documents to the print shop or to the hotels or somewhere. So this is a nexus who drive and collect all this information, and they targeted from the documents, like okay, who's in SBI and who has the Aircel SIM, and the SIM were issued and vulnerability was exposed, and everyone's account passwords were changed using their numbers, and money was transferred to another account, and the fraud became around 10 to 11 crores at that time. And of course, when we talk about risk and control, I will like to give a learning here. Sometimes in cybersecurity, we call it known and unknown. Known is something which we have seen or we can envisage, and unknown risks are something which we right now we have never thought, or we don't know if that can happen, and no one's brain has thought about those things, right? Those are unknown. So in that time, no one thought like someone will get issue a SIM card and change it and do it. But the learning is, if you get to know a unknown, how much time it takes you to put it into the known category and put the control over there. So this fraud happened in 2016, and try put a control on this after 3 years. So after 3 years, they issued that every SIM card, if someone is reissuing it, okay, there will be no messages allowed for 24 hours. You will not able to send a message. You will not able to receive a message. That was a simple control put to control on these kind of frauds. But that was the era where everyone was manually doing the stuff, right? Hackers were doing it manually. But in artificial intelligence world, uh, hackers are not doing these collection manually. They are doing all this data collection by using the tool. So I can simply send you an application to install on your mobile to maybe a Sudoku game or a small play game, or I will say this PPT in the application format or something, and start collecting your data. So now, if back in there, the most exposed functionality, if I talk in any application, it is used to be the forward password. Okay, so any hacker, if you know, so or there's the very first attempt they do is forward password. That if I do that functionality, what it asks. And doing a social engineering is easy. So what you have to do is you go to the someone's social media page and track that information and put it in, try it back, and most of the time you will able to success. And now, even if today, hardly I think 10 to 15% of the web applications are actually tagged to the OTP based authentication. Rest, still 85% of the internet is using for forward password your uh, these security questions. So that is the true fact, and people still are exposing and finding the information from the social media or from the installing something on your devices, and where they are collecting a lot of information for different users and putting it together, right? So risk is at a different stage. So artificial intelligence is helping the businesses, and also there are risk. Hackers are also using these technologies. So if I say where basically AI is used, AI is getting used in the healthcare. The doctors, they are doing a lot of research, of research in that particular area. Their medicines, the combinations, the even this COVID medicine, which was approved in 10 months, right? So a lot of technology was used in there. The artificial intelligence, the coding or the previous records which they have, based on that, lots of assumptions were made, and then this research was done. In finance, AI is getting used to now. Mostly, if you see any application which is showing this on the trading behavior, and then there are many application claim, we will give you a right set of your advices, right set of guidance. So based on your behavior, there are applications which are advising you, and there are applications which banks are using to analyze the market as well. So lot of data from the previous history, because today you monitor charts. So there is a fundamental and there is a technical position of doing these charts. So artificial intelligence is now built in. It has been trained to do this analysis. So there's a one friend of mine who made this, a what you call that, fin trading, FX trading or something like that. For that, made a robot who do the transaction on his behalf. It's like, whenever it interprets what are the next going to happen based on the previous charts. It brings out or call out for the money and put the money. And daily, some sort of money he is making. It's in the trial version, but FX trading robots are already bots are already there. So they are in artificial intelligence based, and many people have started predicting the market by using those kind of technology. A lot of finance research is happening based on AI. Data security. So today, if I talk about cyber security, right? Artificial intelligence is a big game changer. I'll give you a solution name if you have heard about CrowdStrike, right? So they have artificial intelligence based in to assess your processes. So what they say, it's a anti-ransomware technology. So what anti-ransomware technology will do, a agent will be installed on your system. It will analyze in your organization or on your system what kind of different processes you used. It may take some time to fine tune, fix it, and after that, whenever there is a new process or a new channel is getting engaged over there, it will automatically kill it. It will say, okay, let me ask the owner if you want to process it, or if you know, fine, else it will not be executed, right? So everything will be quarantined based on the learning of the processes. I have not trained or I have not built in some signature, it will just come, it will learn what you are doing based on that. And same way, Darktrace has put a solution which, like CrowdStrike is monitoring your processes. The Darktrace has a solution which predicts your behavior. Okay, so in the behavior, what will happen is, let's say that you have a finance team, you install a agent on everyone's system, which is there, of course, from Darktrace. Then you have a HR team. You segregated that. That's a HR team. There's a marketing team. Now, someone from HR team trying to access to the folder or trying to access to the files which generally finance team accesses. But in previous behavior or in previous session, it was never observed that there's a HR person is accessing those files. Immediately, the tool will alert the team. Okay, so it's based on your behavioral learning, that what you are looking into, what you are watching something, what kind of work you are doing. It's based on that behavior. If you say that, okay, you are allowed to do this and I'm doing this, it will learn. It will say, okay, 3-4 people are doing it, fine. But if something different has been occurred, then suddenly it will show a high over there. So that is how it is doing. So a lot of security from the process based, from the behavioral based. So data security, artificial intelligence is getting used in the space as well, right? Industry is using it. So we are everywhere. The artificial intelligence in already, robots are getting smart. Already the technology which is getting is smart. Like, if this kind of things occur, how you are going to stop it, how there should not be extra production, how the mixture should be right every time, and if the temperature is there, how the machine should behave. So lot of artificial intelligence is getting built on our manufacturing side as well. Then there's education, right? On artificial intelligence, education industry is changing, predictions are changing, even our new exams of all the either it's a series or see something, they are also getting based on the artificial intelligence, right? Maybe if anyone have tracked a new simulation of CISA or system, it's like you are giving the exam, and based on your questions, how difficult it is to answer, the next question is getting coming in, right? So same in ISC2 is working in the same line, ISACA is working on the same line, and our exams are also getting based on artificial intelligence, where what you are doing based on that, getting behavior based structures, that how to guess intelligence of someone. So these tools are doing an amazing work in the educational space. And again, image processing, which is like how you have seen some applications where your face is getting changed or your voice is getting changed, and again, big concerns on this as well. And one of the use case which is happening, a big thing is deep fakes, right? Which are there, how you can change someone's face or voice, or all those things, artificial intelligence getting used. So some of the examples which are there. So AI supercomputer ranks in the 63rd among top 500 most powerful non-distributed computers. Facebook using artificial intelligence to prioritize reported content. TS government to use AI for agriculture innovation. Former NHS surgeon create AI virtual patient for remote training. A lot of things. AI is getting built everywhere, right? It's getting used in technology, in different types of industries, but it has some sort of issues as well, right? Data set manipulations. Data set manipulation or database poisoning attack happens when the adversary is able to inject bad data into your model's training pool and hence get it to learn something it shouldn't. It's a simple example, the very first robot movie of Rajinikanth, right? So he trained Chitti. I hope every one of you have seen Chitti. So he trained Chitti, but someone manipulated the data and he end up becoming a villain, right? So simple database data set manipulation a hacker can actually do. So now, if you are working on a product which is going to be artificial intelligence based, you need to make sure you are securing it in a way that your data set is secure. No one should able to manipulate or inject or how it's collecting the data, right? It should be very tricky. So now artificial intelligence not only tracking or collecting the data from the computer inputs, right? There are different sources. Like I gave you example of AI, sorry, Alexa, Siri. So it's taking the voice commands, right? So there's a different set of data. If you start feeding the uh, abusing languages to these kind of tools, how they respond, they are storing. Will it be a time that after some time they will respond in the same way? Can that happen? Or there how the a good point of data collection for AI is IoT devices. My next topic is IoT. I will talk about it, but I'll tell you example of an IoT and artificial based example, which I have worked myself. In Cadbury's, we have this Cadbury World in Birmingham, if anyone of you have heard about it. So it's like a big Cadbury store where you can be, and it will show you all the history of the Cadbury, and it has it's quite big. Like you get each and every product of the Cadbury, and each and every base so big that there's a big products are lying. Like you can spend how you go to the Disney World or the Coke store. So same way you can spend like a day in Cadbury World. You can buy a ticket and be in there. So we have done an experiment over there. We placed IoT sensors everywhere. Okay, so what these sensors do, whoever is in the Cadbury world visiting and looking into the things, they actually sense your behavior, that how fast you're walking, if you are carrying a smile on your face, if you look a bit angry, if you look normal, if you're a woman or a man, so all those kind of things. And when you're looking at the product, how uh, long you are looking into a product, and how when you are working further. So lot of data. So now these IoT devices collect a lot of data for me. So now this data set manipulation, can it be done from that way without even injecting anything from the back end? Can I do the database manipulation at the collection of the source and then change the behavior, how algorithm work, right? A lot of things can be done in that way. But I'll tell you the use case that's very interesting. What it do after the collection of all the data in Cadbury. Now it's collecting about you. So you're curious, right? Oh, after what it will do. So the thing is, it will, let's say if you are walking and you are looking at a product, it's Cadbury Dairy Milk, you looked it for some time. Next you move, you looked into the Bournvita product. Next you move, you have Toblerone or Halls. Suddenly, you looked for Bournvita for 3 seconds and for rest of the product 1 second. The IoT based AI engine will able to understand, okay, this person is more interested in Bournvita, but he has not yet picked it. So what will happen? The panels above there will start playing the Bournvita advertisement, so that he get more indulged into the product and you buy that. Okay. Not only this, this is the case which I have worked. I was talking to a researcher who is working in neurotechnologies and how the brain works. And we had a discussion on an amazing topic called mind and machine. We worked on that, how artificial intelligence is also now working on the senses of the person, right? So there's a research which is happening where they are trying to induce a smell which your senses not able to resist. Like, if you're walking out of a street and then there's a smell coming from a coffee shop, you will not able to resist it and you will go and buy that coffee. That kind of marketing is also coming with the artificial intelligence. So a lot of things, tomorrow Your decisions are not going to be your decisions. The fact with artificial intelligence, your decisions are not going to be your decisions. I'll tell you my story on that again with my personal experience. I think back in 2019, I bought Alexa at home. I put a smart bulb at home so that my daughter, will able to play with it and have some jokes, have some music. And then the bulb, I told her, when you say to Alexa to change the color of the room, your color will become pink. And if you want to change it to purple, your color will become purple. So only thing you have to do is tell Alexa, change the color of the room to pink. Simple. And I installed, she loved it. I think she was 6 years that time, and I gifted her that particular combo and installed in her room. And after that, I started observing, not only things she said, but means, kids adopt the things. So she was adopting. One day I asked her, can you get me a glass of water? She was like, sorry, I can't do that, because Alexa speaks in that way, and that is how kid learns. And one day I just observed, she was doing her math homework, and I heard she was asking Alexa, what is 9 plus 7? So she is doing her maths homework, asking Alexa. So that is the day I decided that Alexa will not be at my home anymore. So it will impact her brain, right? So same way, the AI is part of our day-to-day life, and we have not observed that how it's impacting. So today, if you look into the book called 21 Days of Habit, it says if you are doing a particular thing for 21 day, okay, you are you will be more inclined towards that, and you will be more towards doing that thing. Okay, so now database manipulation is one thing where I'm saying your engine is getting manipulated. But let's say if the people who are operating these kind of tools manipulate the data which they are showing to you, what will happen? And that is what how the advertisement world work today, right? That is the same Cambridge Analytic story. So where it says, let's say that how this is going to impact our democracy. So you are into a country where you are supporting a party A, and then there is a party B. Okay, so they have done with the artificial intelligence that in a particular region, the 70% voters are of party A, and then 30% voters are of party B. Now party B want to win, so they want to change those 30 to 40% of the voters to there. So, and then they will go to the companies who have their data, companies who are operating with that. So they will pay them or have a contract with them. Okay, so we want to get those votes in our favor. So what will happen? The organization like Facebook, they will start working on putting up the research that first out of those people who are already on Facebook and they are of party A for next 21 days, like for 3 weeks, they will not see anything good about party A. They will only see good news about party B, and all the bad news will be hidden. And from them, all the good news of party A will be hidden. So immediately, in the 3 weeks time, how long it take to change your decision? And when you are reading something good, your vote will change from party A to party B in 3 weeks time. That is how database manipulation, I am saying, from the back end as well as the companies, how they can manipulate your decision as well. So it's a lot of risk here. So tomorrow, if you are buying a car, tomorrow, if you are buying a suit, tomorrow, if you are visiting a place, you don't know if that is your decision or Google made you to decide that. Right? We go to TripAdvisor, we go to Google, we say what is the best rated place. Now these days we are not asking people, right? That what will happen. We are just relying on the things. Now we are not putting down our car windows, asking someone to go for a route or where to go. We are relying on Google. In mid of February, I've been to a Uttarakhand trip, and Google took me to the villages in a so narrow road that my car could have hit some of the street things they have put in, and it asked me that only you are saving 2 minutes, though there was a fantastic highway I could have taken, but it showed me that, and I could have crashed or put something on my devices, because we are so much relying on Google and not just asking anyone what is the best route to somewhere. So we are losing the experiences. We are relying more on technology, and tomorrow our decisions are going to be made by these companies, and that's a fact. So same way, another issue which artificial intelligence again creates deepfakes, where if you have seen the pornographic videos, where they are putting up the face, they are taking the body language, and it's happening a lot from the social media. All these uh, competitions which are coming, put your 10 years old image, put your new image, put your sari and put the image, put your photo with your spouse, put your photo with kids, how you were looking kids and how your kids are looking. What is this everywhere? Everywhere it's AI getting trained. Nothing else. You are just putting up the data sets. All these challenges, someone start with, there is a startup who want to capture the data, they make a hashtag, they make a new challenge, everyone is doing it, they are capturing the data, right? What is the challenge? Put your kid picture with your childhood picture. What will happen? Why people want to see that? But a world went crazy. Everyone was putting the picture, and there was a startup who was capturing all data and training their AI. From your face, how to drive a face of your kid, right? So that is when, and then out of that, the deepfakes are made, things are getting made, the voices are getting trained, and even faces are getting morphed with the body. So even this bikini challenge, the sari challenge, because more the skin they will able to see, it is easy for AI to morph the videos, right? So that's all these challenges. And if you see in the news, it's everywhere. Artificial intelligence can be exploited to hack connected vehicles. Artificial and machine learning helping insurance companies with cyber security. Insurance company, I have an amazing case study for this. I was working with the CISO for Max Life. They are trying to build artificial intelligence based tools to do the fraud investigations in case of the insurance. So that's happening. The cybercrime AI is growing threat everywhere. It's threat. UN and Europol won the growing AI cyber threat. So it's everywhere. Cybersecurity, AI has those issues, those risks we should be aware of. And then next time when you're looking into those technologies, make sure you are getting it fixed. Yeah. The next one, which we have, is basically the Internet of the Things. So I'll just sip coffee. So far, how do you find it? I think Q&A also, I'll do before I do. Sushishmita Shah, can you please explain more how AI is influencing education field? So as I said, right, AI, all your education based, the video based learning, your interest based learning, then your exams are getting AI influenced. So AI is doing a lot of work in in education system as well. It's changing based on your learning experience. So like if you are putting your kid into learn something, so every kid is not of the same fact. So it's they are different. So some learn fast, some have fast grabbing things, some learn on the pace. So the AI based institutions or AI based applications, and they say, so they see how your kid has actually learned the first chapter, and before moving to the second, do they need any additional things? or how they place those learning concepts, right, to one person, to second person, or third person. So based on your learning capacity, they will do it. So like even if you are reading the books, right, if you have used this Kindle, or if you are using any application on iPad or something, when you are reading the books, right, it's simple AI example. Based on how long you spend time on reading a page, how many words you are reading per minute, how you are switching on the pages, the timeline, like how long you will take to read the book, it's getting predicted easily. Try it on Kindle and see how many minutes left. You scroll 10 page quickly, it will reduce the time. Again, so accordingly it works. So technology is doing a lot in there. Is there a specific reason why data collection collected from application being sold to third parties, which is misused by companies directly or indirectly? How can end user play safe while using such applications? So it's a nice question, Pratibhan. So as I said, data collected by different applications, so they use it for their own personal use. Okay, so like Domino's has collected your data, Air India collected your data, MobiKwik collected your data. For that was for their own purpose and research. Like Domino's was predicting like when to give you the offers when you buy the pizza. But now they generally don't sell to third party if they have not declared that in their terms and condition. But if they do, they are must having a partner organization so that they can also sell you the advertisement to you. But what happens is their systems are not that strong. Hackers take that up and put it in there. So that is how it happens, right? So that is where the security plays an important role. So most of these organizations just take to serve you better. But yes, hackers have the different plan. So that is where the big basket happened. That is where the LinkedIn attack happened, right? So everyone's email gone out or password gone out, and the cybersecurity learning which we have here is never ever use the same password on different applications. If you want to try have I been pwned, I hope most of you have most of you must be knowing have I been pwned. Just put your email ID, you will able to see where all your data has been hacked in last years, right? So you can change those password and things like. So the yes, application collect data just to make sure they can serve you better. But yeah, hackers or the technologies have different plans. So now, talking about IoT, I hope I have answered both the questions. So yeah. Okay, so IoT, Internet of the Things, when I'm moving towards it, so it's go by definition, the Internet of Things describes the network of physical object things that are embedded with sensors, software, and other technologies for the purpose of connecting and exchanging data with other devices and system over the internet. Okay, simple. Physical object, it's a physical object, have a sensor and a software, can connect to another physical device or a server or a computer over the internet. So which is called Internet of Things. So that means I will able to operate that device from the internet, right? Simple. So anything, either it's a mobile, either it's my car, which is I have an application in my mobile right now. I can open my car by sitting here, right? So my car becomes an Internet of Things. If I can switch or control my CCTV, so my CCTV becomes Internet of the Things. Anything which is connected over internet and I can operate it from there is part of IoT. So where it's getting used? Smart wearables, right? Your watch, your mobile, the chipset and everything. Smart homes. So this is the example which I will like to say that most of our wearable at this point of time, either it's music, either it's Alexa, either it's Siri, smart bulb, fridge, everything is now connected to internet, and the smart homes are coming in. So there are many funny videos on this where the voice recognition or something can happen. But the thing is, consumer behavior, how it operates or how it channelize the security is really different. How many of you have seen the presentation of Apple devices? So whenever they do a presentation, like let's say they have launched a new phone, and compared to you go to Google phones or Samsung or something, most of the time they talk about the features. But Apple, when they launch their phone, their more than 50% of the presentation talk about hardware. They talk list about that, how strong their chipset is, how much time they are putting into make it efficient, and how much, sorry, the call is, so how much time they are making it to make it more efficient, how much time they are putting in to make it more secure. And that is where they say that that is why their devices are so expensive, because their chipset is so strong, and they have those technical algorithms and a lot of things they are putting in together. But the consumer behavior is different. You must have seen Amitabh Bachchan coming on TV and says, okay, मतलब घर की खुशियां, just from mobile he can switch on the AC, and everyone go calm down in the home. So that advertisements are coming in, right? And you watch that advertisement and you said, oh, I want to buy this smart AC. This is something I want to buy. You went there in the shop and they say, okay, this AC is 25,000, and same looking AC, same functionality, just the difference is you can operate it from the internet. Oh, functionality. You can have this mobile, you can switch it on before coming home. Before you reach to the office is cooled down. Everything is jazzy, yeah. The cost is 45,000. Will you ever buy it? Same functionality, same feature, only difference, you can switch it on 5 minutes before you reach home, so that as you enter it's already chilled place. Will you pay 20,000 extra for this? The normal Indian consumer behavior says no. But if you say this is 25,000, there is another device which you can operate from, have an application and operate it from your mobile, will cost you 26,000. You are going to buy it. That is the research, that is the thing. So now, as a security person, you will say to your company, to LG, please don't put a chip set in this because it's not secure. In 1,000 rupees, how much strong chipset you can create? But the consumer behavior wants this. The company will go ahead and launch a new AC with internet connectivity with a 1,000 rupees difference, and they don't want to compromise on their margins. What the security person will do if there is no cyber judgment and if they don't care about your security? That is what happened. 1.5 lakh IoT devices in US were hacked together for make a DDoS attack of 1.6 Tbps. 1.6 Tbps means if you have a 1 TB hard disk, right, you are just putting in 1 second the data transfer. If you try it today, a GB or 2 GB will take you like 1 or 2 minutes to transfer that much data from one drive to another drive. And here I'm saying 1.5 lakh IoT devices in US hacked together to a particular company with the 1.6 Tbps of DDoS attack. What you will do? You will try to reach out. You will try to map someone connected to your devices. From that, they have come to your house and using your internet. End of the day, if you try to do forensic or investigation, you will be behind the bar because you don't have a control in your home to see which IPs are coming in and where they are operating, right? No one has that that no one has those smart routers at home, right? We all are using, most of us are using the routers which are connected to the or provided by our ISPs, right? Normal 1,000 or 1,500 rupees router. No one is investing those 15,000 or 20,000 or 10,000 rupees to have the smart router where you can actually reduce the speed of the router, where you can actually change who can actually log in to your internet, where you can actually do the segmentation of your devices. What you actually need to do, you need to have a one segment for all your user devices where you have the data, or if you're using a smart device, you need to have a separate segment to connect those devices. That is what I do. That is achievable by a 6,000 rupees TP-Link router. You can have a guest account. You can have those smart small chip bulb have with the guest account, So, and you also monitor that what all data transmission is happening. And if you say if this device is doing a transmission of data more than this, immediately block it. All smart router have those facilities in cybersecurity, but no one is aware. I don't know if I can do a poll or not, but in chat I will like to know how many of you know that with just a router you can do all these controls at your home, and how many of you are actually doing it. How many of you have old or a router which is provided by ISP and never been upgraded? You have never ever upgraded the firmware of your router from last 2 years, 3 years. One ISP you installed and it's been there. We all are cybersecurity professional here, not aware of smart routers. You can just check TP-Link, Cisco's. Yes, it's not used. But the thing is, we are not using smart router at home, but we are using smart devices at home. How many of you have a smart bulb, Alexa, or any other smart device at home, but never worried about the router and seeing what it is doing? Yes, Chandra Mohan, that is the thing, that is a reality, cruel reality. We are never ever checking, and our admin or they have the password or something. So even the smart router, you can even put a range, you can try that how much range is there. So from your house door outside, you should make sure that the range is not coming. The smart router has that functionality as well. Okay, great decision, Amit. Good, but that's not the thing. What is as I said, consumer behavior. So if you go to the market, there are these internet-based route ACs are selling like anything. They are selling it. As I said, there is a difference of 500 or 1,000 rupees, and people are buying it, and they maybe doing it for show of, like, okay, go to the neighbor's place and show, oh, my AC, I can switch it on from your place. Nothing more than that they are doing. No one is doing nothing more than that, but they are buying this. They are buying smart TV connecting to the internet. They are buying all these devices connecting to the internet and without knowing it. And as a cybersecurity professionals, most of the people I interact are not aware of this, that this can happen. So someone can actually, you connect a router, sorry, a smart bulb with your router. How difficult to crack the chipset of your router? How difficult to crack a chipset of CCTV camera? It's like easy like anything. And if a hacker goes into your router from that device, they can work on the bandwidth of your router and they can do anything. And at the end of the day, your IP will be logged into the other's machine. And if they hacked into something, then they will route it back to you. Simple. So, dangerous things. Smart healthcare devices. Your ventilators, your pacemakers, right? Now, these days, these are coming with all IoT enabled. Doctors from their home, they can monitor the patient and they can actually see the health and give the prescription. So all your healthcare devices are coming smart. What if someone hacks into a ventilator? What if someone hacks into a pacemaker? What will happen? This From the IoT devices, I'll tell you this. Johnson and Johnson launched digital insulin. So insulin, you all know, right? Maybe you have someone with the diabetic, you must be knowing. So they need that insulin, in the day or the time. So that's a digital insulin where you can actually put like, okay, if you need that much of dose or this, you need that much of dose. That is a digital. You just put and the dose will be taken care of. Now, the day they launched, it's as easy that if you are near that particular device, with simple computer programming, with simple magnetic device, you can actually change how this operate. So what will happen is you just change the chip programming, that if I type 10 ml, you make it 100. And with that digital insulin, person will take 10 ml, they will go to sleep, they will never wake in the morning. That is how we are going into the IoT spaces, and that much of the security risk we are taking ahead, right? So healthcare, it's there. Industrial IoTs, every manufacturing unit is now using IoTs. I've given that example as well, based on the artificial intelligence or the how the temperature, the IT and the OT technology, the operation technologies, based only OT technology is based only on the sensors only. It's the SCADA controls and everything that's operate on the sensors. So now even fridge or everything, even at home as well. The support function. I think smart home. I have not talked about fridge, or I have not talked about the health condition of this. So they have developed the technology in a way. If you go and buy a good fridge, which is like, or two doors, or the big fridges which are coming, smart fridge, they have the sensor built in to check the health of each function. So what the support function will call you if you say that, okay, I have, my fridge has a problem. They will give you a code. Okay, they will go and they will say that scan it with that particular code, and from that sensor, and they will get to know what's the problem in the fridge. That's there. And even smart fridge otherwise are there, which where you can actually change the temperature, and you can change the things of your like AC. So in fridge also you can able to change the temperature, or you can able to switch off. That's gonna happen. But in industry also, the IoTs are getting used for your autonomous devices, the vehicles, for your robots to working. So all these sensors are put it in, and everything, even your belt manufacturing unit and everything is there. So from smart home, smart cities, the concept is coming in, where everything on the road is smart, where IoT devices, the sensor and everything is placed across city. And after that, the next is autonomous cars, which are coming in, which will be playing on the sensors, and cities are becoming smart. Smart appliances, we are using it day in, day out, right? So if I go into some news, how the industry is using it, Google Nest audio review, an ideal buy for first smart home experience. We know that Shanghai has more than 31,000 5G base station, and its digital infrastructure has expanded at a rapid pace. Plan to install IoT devices in auto rickshaws in city. See, it's in Andhra. Smart devices in auto rickshaw. But what can happen? I have talked about this botnet attack, right? The attacker alters the control system so the robot moves unexpectedly or inaccurately. Data and identity theft can happen. Man in middle attack can happen. Denial of service attack can happen. So if the sensors are blocked, they will not able to service. If the man in middle attack, so if you look into the cybersecurity issues of these sensors, it becomes difficult. How so if you are looking into any OT related stuff, if you are auditing any OT related thing, or if you are working into the cyber security, then you should look into these issues wherever the IoTs are. And IoTs also have that now how the EDR is there, like, and endpoint detection. So same way for IoTs also, that same is getting extended, and XDR kind of technology is coming, which will monitor all this stuff as well for you, right? So DDoS botnet operated. So there is a guy who hacked into all these IoT devices that was 22 years old, and he was prisoned. Hacker targeting IoT devices with a new P2P botnet. Most of the hackers are, because everyone is using at home the IoTs, right? So everyone is trying to do this. Amazon Alexa bugs could have let hacker install malicious skills remotely. I was telling you this, right? Database manipulation. So if there is a malicious skill have been in Alexa, and if your kids or you are at home and you are asking something Alexa to do, and they are starting abusing you, what will you do? And if they are not getting shut down, what will you will do? So a lot of things, the hacks can be done, right? So another is a drone. I think you have heard that meme was quite popular. That in 10 years, drone has taken a job of cameraman and a helicopter, or and a pilot, not helicopter. So there was a pilot who was driving the helicopter, and there was a cameraman sitting in there, and they were shooting the whole scene. So now drone has taken that job away. So emerging technologies changing the jobs definitely. So there are some question and answer I would like to take at the end, maybe. Uh, to- 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 Okay, so few Q&A, I think I will just wrap this session in maybe 20, 30 minutes, because 20 minutes max, and then we'll go into the Q&A mode. I think I have covered a lot of case studies. Next are just slides, which I will walk through, that I have almost covered most of the things, like, so drones are again, what these are based on IoT and AI based stuff. They are devices which can fly. Drones are used for surveillances. They can see how the health in the city, and it can actually go into the flood areas, or the where there is a fire where the people can't go. Drones can reach there. Aerial photography is happening with the drones. Crop monitoring, right? That is happening with the drones. So people are now using in US and UK. They are not there, so they just install a drone who will keep on monitoring and keep the things and see how this. And if there's a big land, you don't need to walk in and see if it is right or wrong. You just put it a drone, and there the use cases, the fast delivery. Now Amazon has started saying pizza is getting delivered by the drone. So it has already started. Military is using the drone. How many of you have seen the Uri movie? How the surgical strike they have shown, like, without drone, it wouldn't have been possible, right? So military, they are using drones. Disaster relief, they are using drones. So if there's a earthquake, if there is a flood, where people who are stuck, and by the time the relief things are coming in, drones can actually go give some package relief. So emerging technologies, of course, they are changing the life how we live. And there's many use cases. How many of you think these use cases of drones are new to you? Then that, oh, crop monitoring drone can come. So we know most of the people, I interacted with this, or the drone is for delivery or drone is for photography, right? So drone can be used for military. Yeah, Yuri surgical strike, yes. Priya, you're right. Disaster relief, aerial photography, surveillance, lot of things. And drones are getting used. So Telangana, news of Telangana, explore uses of drone for the benefit of women's safety. KT Ramarao suggested to police. So they are saying that use drones for women's safety. Like in the night, the drones will be flying in the city and making sure the crimes are not happening. Amazon wins FFA approval to delivery packages by drone. Skyfire launches its new drone as part of a first responder program. Okay, for relief. Drone business attract attention as growth industry. So cybersecurity issues, man in middle attack, you attack to a drone, delivery was going to some other place, but they deliver it to you, right? GPS spoofing is again, it will be rerouted and can be done. Reply attack. So this is different. So generally, these signals which we are sending, right, from a drone are mainly encrypted, and only the receiver will able to understand it. So sometimes if you capture the signal, right, you will not able to reply. So what attackers are doing, they are capturing the signal and reproducing the same signal after some time to make the receiver feel the drone is at some other location and doing some other activity, right? So what the understand it. So you drone is giving a signal, you capture it, but you are not able to understand it, what it is saying. Instead of that, what you did is you just reply with the same signal, and the receiver who got the same signal twice will get confused. Oh, why my drone is giving me the same signal? So that is some sort of cyber security related issues. And then you need to have that anonymity or integrity kind of things built in there, that if the one signal is produced, next time it have the different kind of token. If it is the same signal with the same kind of token is coming in, you should reject it, right? So as the issues will come, you may need to have some kind of brainstorming to see. But if we are looking into emerging technologies, if we are working into securing the emerging technologies or auditing this, so we should know what kind of different issues or how this technology work. So a lot of understanding. So think about, you are a cybersecurity professional. Our businesses are definitely going to use these technologies. Are we smart enough to understand these technologies? I'll tell you, I run a community. Okay, I have 25,000 members. I day to day, I interact with many people. No cybersecurity professional today, no cybersecurity professional is getting ready for emerging technologies. If I ask them how a car will get hacked, they don't know. How a IoT will get hacked, they don't know. How the IoT or artificial intelligence attacks are there. So what they know, a system, a process, a audit. So that is the problem. So they are saying cybersecurity jobs will not go. If you are not upgrading yourself, they will definitely go to the artificial intelligence who can do a better work than you. That's why compliance has scored. That's why these technologies which are coming in, and if you are not learning about this, my business is going to work on this. You are not getting ready for the startups. You are not getting ready for the businesses who are working on these technologies. So right now there are 10-15% businesses maybe working emerging technologies. The rest 85 need to catch up. And by the time they will catch up, then they will ask how you write a JD today. Someone having 5 years of a technology which I have just started working on. If they started working on, so you need to be pre-ready for that, right? So that is how. So you need to learn emerging technologies, and because that is how the business language is changing, and that is how the businesses are changing. So you need to get yourself upskilled with the latest technologies, because business are getting upskills. How many of you seen this kind of robots at this? I think in Bangalore it was quite viral video in what's that sari place in Bangalore? It's Nali, right? If I'm not wrong. No, my story is there, but I think there's a famous sari place in Bangalore. I think it's Nali or something like that. The sounds like that. I don't know if you yes, Nali stores. Yeah. So they had this robot wearing sari and informational. So whatever was coming in, they were serving water or something. So Nali store in. I don't know if they have that regular in each store or not, but that video was viral where they have this informatic based robot having sari and serving water to everyone. So robots getting common these days. Everyone is so I think someone else. Famous for silk sarees, yes. I was in Bangalore for 3 years, from 2007 to 2010. Before I moved to Mumbai, I love that place. Frankly, I had the best memories in Indira Nagar, Koramangala, Tipsandra, Hauser Road, BTM layout. My office used to be on the Mysore Road, Global Village Tech Park. I love Bangalore. Those 3 days I had amazing memories. Okay, so robotics, yes, it's again a device which we can automate and operate like things. So robots are again the combination of IoT, automation, and somewhere advanced robot has artificial intelligence. So we see artificial intelligence, we see IoT, the combination of them also make drones, the combination of them also make robots. Robots are not always a human looking big thing. Robots looks like this machine as well, industry robots, where they just pick one thing, put it on the another. So a robot is not always smart, it's just something which is automated, right? Can be done by the machines. So medical robots. So robots at a precise level, which you can't do. Then there are robots or surgeries at a brain level or other organ level where a manual work can't be done. Robots are getting so precise and using in those things. So service robot, yes. This is the robot I'm talking about in the Nali Sari, which was there. We had that in our one of the tech fest for Mondays International. Military robots, robots fighting on your behalf. Space robots you are sending it to Mars or the on the moon, and you're putting in place there and monitoring everything. Rescue robots, if there's a fire, if there's an accident, if there's a relief. So drone will go there and do the surveillance, but robot has the capacity to pick the people up and doing. So robot industry is changing, and I have given you that example of Siri City and Himachal Pradesh factory, right, where you have one traditional factory, where you have one art of the technology. So we are using all robotics over there, right? And based on that only, you're able to automate everything, and then things are going crazy. So Hyundai Robotics is automated fast food production for KFC. So KFC is using Hyundai robots to automate the chain and produce a fast food. So you are here in India, if you go to the KFC store, there are people, and soon you will see, you will just go, you place an order to the computer, and there's a robots or the trains or the chains which are serving you food. There are already robots, robot-based restaurants are coming in. The friendly robot and the future of work, how NASA is leveraging robotic technologies and space operations. South Korean cafe hires robot barista to help with social distancing. See, in Corona time, for social distancing, robots are serving the coffees. So need arises, and things are getting changed. So now, if you are working in a barista cafe, let's say you are simply a security auditor or a CISO of barista, and barista has put into this kind of technology. Now you need to understand how this robot works, what kind of software it has, how it will operate it, how it will get connected to my network, what all data can come from in, what all go in, and if it is harmful or not, if it is a secure in or not, if the checklist, a lot of things you need to look into, right? So someone can actually alter the control parameters, how you are controlling that device, someone can actually hack into that. Someone can actually temper the calibration parameters. If the calibration, so if robot is serving the coffee, instead of serving it, it will put coffee on someone's face. Can happen, right? If there is a manufacturing unit, and they are using some what you call costly items, which a robot is just picking and putting in, and if someone hacked into that robot, he will pick and he will throw it. It will break the stuff, right? So lot of hacks can happen. Tempering production logic. So production. So if someone hacks into Cadbury's factory and change the logic, how the chocolate or the cocoa is getting mixed with the milk powder. So no one is tasting it before delivering, right? It will Just if someone hacks into the ratio of milk and chocolate production will be different. The chocolate taste will differ. It will just manufactured, get packed and delivered, right? So that is can happen. Altering plant personal signals. If your control team or something is not getting the signals, it can be hacked. So a lot of things or issues related to this things, and you need to aware that this is in my industry is important. So if you see robots running with the industrial world are open to cyber attack, yes, no denying to that fact. Increasingly popular industry robots are vulnerable to cyber attacks. Cyber attacks on robots could threaten Industry 4.0. Robot vacuum sucks up sensitive audio in lidar phone hack. Yeah. So the thing is, what I'm telling you today is not because whenever I talk to someone about these emerging technologies and there is people get fascinated, oh, this is happening, that is happening, and maybe you are faking something or like that. Either I'll tell you something which I have done myself, or I have tried to put something from the news. Simple. I have taken the screenshot that this is happening. That's not something I am making it up. Autonomous vehicles, a self-driving car. Now, autonomous vehicle is nothing but a robot with the artificial intelligence based in and operated with the IoT devices. So that is how I have started with the technologies. You understand AI, you understand IoT, you understand robots, mix them together, there is an autonomous vehicle. Where it can be used, warehouse robots. As I told you, many of the manufacturing companies are using it. Domestic transport, Tesla, big way, right? Ford is coming up. Logistics, again, these trucks there. Self-landing rockets, SpaceX. All these are examples of autonomous vehicle. And they say that you go to Dubai in next 2 years. Earlier, it used to be 2022 when they say, but because of COVID, I think the progress is stopped. And to have these autonomous vehicles, you need to have smart cities as well, where you need to have the sensors and all. So that is there. And what is the issue? So sorry, industry, how it's moving. So the first examples are Zoom's unveils its self-driving car that could become Amazon's first robot taxi. Walmart will use fully driverless trucks to make deliveries in 2021. So this is a old news, but I think if they have done it or not, I need to see. Volkswagen CEO expect autonomous cars on market from 2025 to 30. So after 2025, autonomous cars are coming in. If you are a security professional and if your organization asks that we want to have these autonomous cars for our BP or for our CEOs, can you do an audit for these cars? There are so many. I think I have not put or I'm not going technical in there. Let me just quickly, show you one slide if I have that handy. Uh, from the cars point of view, this is my another deck which gives you a detail, like in technical conversation. So OTA update, ransomware, engine control unit, cloud service providers, attack on connected and IoT devices, remote hacking, DDoS. In car, there are many points which can be hacked, from a vehicle access system, steering and braking ECU, engine ECU. So you see those many sensors are there, which can be there. So remote key, how it works, keyless entry, how it works. So TPMS, a lot of sensors are there, and then this whole technology. If you see this connected devices on this, so a lot of this thing can happen. A Tesla attack was already done when someone was driving at 50 mpp miles per hour, and the machine automatically started running at 80 miles per hour. So hacking can be done to these devices. Okay, so yeah, coming back to my official slide. So today, I frankly don't know how much of you know all those things, and the idea was to cover that emerging technologies, how they are impacting cybersecurity. But I am not put a kind of a deep dive into a particular thing. Like if we want to go for autonomous cars, we need to deep dive into car details, that how this can be hacked and all those things, which are actually from the hacking perspective, right? But yeah, it's just an overview so that you are prepared what is lying ahead in future. So with cyber security issues, autonomous cars can be hacked by two ways. One is local attack vector, where you are actually having a direct touch with the car. You can put it into the charging, something that maliciously, some USB drive or some inputs to the car where you can actually install the malware, or where you can do a kind of a remote attack from man in middle, because one of the sensor signal you capture and replay it back, or when the car is connected to the server, you're able to break in from there, or when the vehicle is connected to another vehicle. So those kind of attacks can happen. So it's already there. The automated vehicle cybersecurity concern, it lock down the road. So there are cars on the road getting tested, and autonomous engine fails in between. The car denied to start. Tesla launched its car that is, I think, somewhere in Indian currency, 3 crore rupees. And when they launched, immediately the same evening it was hacked. Now it is a dabba for you. You can't do anything else. It will not drive. It denied to start. Then they fixed the issue next day. Autonomous cars, the cybersecurity issue facing the industry. Industry is facing this kind of issues. So, yep, 5G is coming. 5G is the fifth generation of cellular technology, theoretical peak speed of 20 Gbps, 20 GB per second, while the peak speed of 4G is only 1 Gbps. Where it will use after 5G will come, it will give you the global connectivity at the ease. It will give you healthcare connectivity at a very fast pace. It will give you the autonomous cars everywhere, because right now it's not there because it requires a lot of connectivity. It's a petabyte, which the kind of data which need to be there, right? Smart cities will be there only if the 5G will come. So autonomous cars is coming again here. So 5G and AI complementary technologies now and into the future, an emerging energy challenge, because a lot of resources will be used. Everything will be connected to internet and energy. 5G rollout and pandemic condition could lead to boom in augmented reality. So security issues mainly from the networking side, how you are going to do distributing, routing. A lot of IoT devices will be coming in 5G specifically for that. Bandwidth expansion related 5G issues. And one of the issue which is not mentioned here, which I was reading about, it was calculation at the network edge. So now what is happening is, you have a mobile, and from that device it goes to the cloud at the server level and do calculation and come back. So now the new with 5G, the calculations of the processing will happen at the edge, right? It will not go to the cloud to do the calculation. It will just stored in some of the parameters, and it will do so much fast. I need to deep dive more into that how this gonna be a cyber security related concerns, and it will actually can be hackers will able to do it more powerful impact to your devices, to your industry, and hacking will become easy with that kind of processing. So how that is something I need to look into, but I have read it, but I have not put it in here because I'm not sure about that, how that work. Okay, so new mobile internet protocol vulnerability let hacker target 5G, 4G users, because it's a new technology, new vulnerabilities will come. New 5G network flows let attacker track users' location and steal data, because it's not new. Things will change. I think big data, I have already talked when I was talking about artificial intelligence. It's about analyzing. So a lot of example about social media, Cambridge Analytics, and that voting parties, the examples which I have given, right, they are based on data. So data is getting used on social media analytics. We talk about that. Fraud detection, where most of the banks now using artificial intelligence or big data analyze, where they are putting up the behavior of the transactions, right? So these days, if you are using your cards somewhere, right? So the big data is actually come with combination of AI, I will say. They are tracking how much you are spending. If you are spending like in a month 20-30,000, or your transaction size is not more than 2,000, 3,000, suddenly there is a transaction of rupees 30,000 or 40,000 happening from your card, you will get a call from your bank saying, it's an automated call which says from your card that much transaction is happening, we have put it on hold. If you are doing this, press 1, right? So that all happened with AI and big data combination, where a lot of transactions are getting analyzed. And if your fraud, if the transaction is not as per your behavior, the transaction will get stopped, right? So most of the banks have started using, most of the international bank I'm talking about, like, if you have a card of Citibank or other good reputed bank, I think even HDFC have started doing it right now. I'm not using Axis or ICICI, but HDFC and Citi definitely they do that. Banking, that is the example I've given. Agriculture, based on the data research, based on how the nature is, how the seeds are, a lot of this analytics or big data is getting collected in the agriculture field. Medical is using the same, as well as government is keeping your data, the vaccination, Aadhaar, PAN, IT, right? Big data calculations are happening in their way. Big data, big demand. How data improve your social media marketing? I think we have talked a lot about it today. Big data signal winner days before election days. Okay, so even from before election, they will decide the winner based on big data. Big data analytics, betting odds, and prediction election results. So cybersecurity issues, fake data. So as in AI, I have talked about this, tampering calibration parameters, possibility of sensitive information mining. So it can create some kind of information which is sensitive to people, or it can be of your personal or something. Troubles of cryptographic protection. So big data required, to protect data which is so huge. Encrypting it is a big concern, right? So those kind of protection issues will come, and you want to process it. Big data is basically to process it at a speed which will create some issues. So convenience, user experience versus security, that's the issue here. 3D printing. Mostly when we talk about emerging technologies, people think there is no 3D printing related issues. So what 3D printing is? 3D printing is basically creating a model, and then your device, creating from that internet based processed picture the same replica of the same, right? So there is a 3D printers who can actually mold a thing based on the prescription, or based on the size or the same processed image which you will give. It will automatically build the replica of the same. If you feed something to it, it will create a replica, right? It is getting used in manufacturing. You want to create same looking piece, you do 3D printing. It's getting used into the circuit board. It's getting used for the education, creating device and making people learn the different models. You are putting up the solar systems or other whatever you want to print. You can print the construction. The buildings are getting made by 3D printers. Healthcare are using to create the replica of the small organs or other devices for this. Artwork can be created by 3D printer. But if you see the use cases right now, the researcher deploy 3D printer suspension part for Fiat and the sports car. Sports car parts are getting 3D printed. Russian scientists improve 3D printing technology for aerospace use, composite using oil based. Volkswagen invest in 3D printer to enhance design. So a lot of things are happening. But cybersecurity, again here as well. Software vulnerabilities. Let's say you are using a printer, you are printing something, software vulnerabilities is there, and the print goes. If you are doing a construction, what will happen? Network vulnerabilities, where while you are printing, if the network issues has happened. Sabotage. So if there is a hacker who put a print, if you are printing something and it had to something that it change the layout. Let's say that if you are making a construction and it will at every model, it will just put some different gaps in there. And what will happen that with that construction will fall, right? The manufacturing hacking tools, people are actually creating it for 3D printing the credit cards or debit cards of the things, or the same kind of information they are trying to create. So even if the businesses are using, hackers are using this kind of technologies. 3D printing helps scammer perfect ATM scheming. A researcher machine learning to expose vulnerabilities behind 3D printer composite. 3D printing hack. Researcher crashed drone with sabotaged propeller. Right. So someone 3D printed the drone and it was crashed into the some of the sabotaged building or whatever they have created. So a lot of these kind of things. Now, if you are looking into futuristic securities, you have to start looking into this mixed reality, VR and AR, virtual reality and augmented reality. So it's a way of the future. So I'll just quickly rush it through. We are running out of time. I think engineering, we are using AR and VR. If you have seen all this in the Iron Man movies or any other sci-fi movies, that is the concept. We metaverse is coming. You are aware about metaverse. Anyone thought about the security in metaverse? People have already started buying spaces in the metaverse. McDonald has already booked patents around it. They are going to sell burgers in metaverse. You just go in that place, you order, it will get your home delivered, but virtually you are playing and enjoying it with your friends. Healthcare is giving you all augmented reality and virtual reality kind of feature in there. In military, it's getting used in the education system. Most of the next gen education is happening with the VR and AR. Even our own brand, the Digital Kiddo. So we have a brand which is for specifically kids education, the emerging technologies education for the kids. It also gives you the education on the digital hygiene based. And uh, for we are trying to put our courses or curriculum, we are designing how in a VR environment we can teach kids about these emerging technologies. Because tomorrow, how our parents taught us that if something get need to be fixed at home, you have that screwdriver, you have that clutch plate, or you need to fix it by yourself. But if in future, if something happens, our kids, how they are going to fix that these things? They need to learn the coding, they need to know the robotics, they need to know AR VR, they need to know how these things work, and if need to be fixed, how they will be able to fix. Because tomorrow, right now in COVID, we have that floor cleaner. That's a robot. It is put it in a place, it will automatically on the time to time it goes clean the floor and come back. Wherever it says there's a dirt, it will get that thing out, pick it up and go back and go to the charging. So that is available on Amazon for, I think, around we spend around 60,000 rupees on that particular thing, because in COVID there was no maid, and who will come and clean the house. So we bought that. So now it's there and we are used to it, and it's cleaning it automatically. So things, kids need to learn all this. So education is changing and people will see. So construction, so you will able to see how it works. So have you seen Pokemon Go, the game? This AR, VR kind of things, the faces, the Snapchat. So all those are kind of mixed reality which are coming, right? Mixed reality is helping to train UK medical students. OD uses augmented reality to increase efficiency in logistic planning. Combining mixed reality tech with brain signals could improve rehabilitative medicines. See, even then in UK, someone used these VR glasses for their cows. So what they are doing is, on those VR glasses, they are putting up the green fields and they are putting it on the cow's eyes. I think you can Google that image. I have not put it in there. So what happens after that? The behavior of the cow, cow started feeling happy that it's in the green fields and they are enjoying, and the productivity of the milk has increased. So they are now giving more milks by using, the farmers have started using those VR devices on the cows. I think, I don't know if you have seen, let me just quickly Google this, and definitely this is an interesting case study of VR. We will get that, I think. Oops. Okay. VR devices on cows. Yeah, yeah. See, in Turkey, that's the location. Yeah, they are actually using this VR sets, and they are putting it on the cows, and cows now are giving more milk, right? So that is how it is. That is how the technology is getting used. So okay, so with this, I think my last 2 3 slides, and we have this cybersecurity issues, wearable exposure. It's like, you're putting up the devices and some malicious data or something will come, blackmailing or sextortion. VR porn is in very much demand. Okay, fake identities and deep fakes. Again, AI related stuff which we have talked about. But right now, I'll try to portray a future to you. Okay, so let's have a look in the future. With all these emerging technologies together, you will have, welcome to your smart home. There's a, everything is connected with IoT. Okay, we are almost used there. We are almost there. Okay, you will have a smart fridge. That fridge is connected with already with Walmart or Amazon. So it has a sensing technology. This thing is already in POC. Walmart are actually trying to connect with the IoT or your smart devices where the auto payment will happen, and your fridge is already connected. So what will happen? Your fridge will sense, or AI is built in your fridge that will sense that how you are consuming the eggs day to day, how you are consuming the apple, how much milk you consume in per day, and it will one day realize, okay, there is no eggs, and it will say, no worry. So you are not even need to bother. Your fridge is there, you have eggs, and what it will do, it will place an order to Amazon already, and the money will get deducted, and Amazon send a drone at your place, and there's a robot who will pick those eggs for you, put it in there, and the same robot is cooking for you and putting a message which will come to your room and says, Alexa, woke up, it's breakfast time, it's ready, you just need to go and consume. So you will be focusing only on important things like eating, bathing, and you doing your work. Rest all will be taken care by technology. And it is somewhere there. It's somewhere there. Right? With this, I will rest my case, and I'd like to welcome you to the future. Thank you. My name is Gaurav Batra, and you can find me on internet with Go Batra, GAUV. It's not Gaurav. My nickname is Gov, GAUV Batra. It's 9 letter word. You Google it, you put it on LinkedIn or Instagram, you will able to connect with me easily. So search just GAUV Batra on Instagram or LinkedIn, and we can connect. So how was it? At least in chats, I like to see your reactions. Was it fascinating? Was it interesting? Have you seen something new coming to it, or some new thoughts?
I think it was pretty good. I'm seeing a few thoughts coming up, and it was pretty exciting as well. Especially considering the fact that you moved into various sectors and put in, where it is used, what are the cyber risks. Right? I think that connected quite well. So we are seeing that feedback wonderfully dropping in to the chat window. Really glad that the feedback is coming in. I have a couple of participants who have raised their hand. Maybe I will just enable them to talk in case they want to share a few thoughts out there. So Pranav,
And
you
I
were there.
just like to tell that in this presentation, Narasimha, as we discussed, I tried to put emerging technologies and role in the industry because how businesses are moving. But if
Absolutely.
we need to deep dive, like, then security, because frankly, I was not aware that how technical I need to go. But in each, we can do a 2-hour presentation for each emerging technologies to go
I
deep
agree with
dive
you.
into the technology,
I
right?
agree with you.
So, but yeah, I try to give an overview that how business is moving and how we need to be ready as a security professional for future.
Agree.
Yeah.
In fact, the reality is, the ISACA community is so very diverse, right? That you have different set of people, some into
Yeah,
the leadership,
exactly.
some into the governance, some into core security, some into ethical pen test, etc. Right? So I think that's also a challenge for you as a speaker. I think you did a fantastic job in bringing it to a right shape. There are a couple of Q&As. I'm sure you address them during the session. If you want to take a couple of Q&As, we still have about 4 to 5 minutes. You could probably look into the Q&A window. Participants, if you have any questions, you could probably look into the Q&A video. Also, just to give you a heads up, as per the latest ISACA guideline, I think we will have to manually go ahead and update the CP credit details. And therefore, please refer to the ISACA CP policy. You could also reach out to the ISACA India chapter number in case you have any clarification. So we have an India chapter number as well. All of these details are updated on the Telegram channel as well. And all our Telegram, YouTube, and LinkedIn channel details are mentioned in the chat window. If you have missed it, I will once again post it. And yes, Gaurav, in case you have any questions, feel free to.
Yeah, I'm good. So, okay, so you want me to go to Q&A and
Any
put
one
in
of those
those there,
questions,
right?
I will leave that to you because
Okay,
in case you want
fair
to pick
enough.
up a couple of questions.
So I was just okay. I was just typing my LinkedIn profile and I'll just put that so that if you
Sure. Maybe
want
I
to
will help
connect
you out with those questions in the meanwhile. I'll pick up a couple of them. Right. In terms of an IoT and complexity, what are the types of controls you suggest to prevent a cybersecurity incident?
See, for IoTs, definitely it's more hack happens in two things. One is from the chipset. So most of the IoT devices are using a chipset which is not strong and which is easily to bypass. So the very first thing, whenever we are working in the IoT devices, we need to make sure we have a strong chipset. And second, we are now having the endpoint solutions, endpoint protection for IoT as well that need to be installed in there, and of course the network protection. So these are the three parameters. One is from the hardware side, chipset, then AV for IoT devices, and the network protection. These are the three controls which are mandatory for IoTs.
Fantastic. In terms of this metaverse, blockchains, and crypto, do you think it is still so-called virtual, or is it coming into reality? What is the threats you notice there?
Frankly speaking, I think Narasimha, you will be in the best position to answer on this. I have specifically, but if you see on my main slide, cryptocurrency is there. I have not put it in or been into the deep dive. Frankly, I'm trying to be there, but cryptos I'm not yet able to understand. It's very far from me, and that's why I don't discuss about this. The topic which I'm not confident about, I don't discuss. I know it's required in NFTs. I'm trying to understand it, but somewhere I'm not able to digest that information, and yet I need to be at a stage where I will be able to take the questions on this. But I know you are expert in this area. Please feel free to answer it.
Okay, so just to give you a heads up, my friends, thanks, Gaurav. I would not say that I'm an expert, but yes, see, the entire concept of blockchain and crypto is evolving drastically, right? It could be in terms of a so-called traditional 51% attack to sort of capturing the systems and trying to fake your entire authentication process. Unfortunately, the concept of metaverse, blockchain, crypto today is all not coming to a real business use case. We're not having a very realistic business use case of blockchain at least being used on a large scale. It is maturing. I'm not saying that we don't have blockchain as a service, etc. Are coming up. We are having threats in terms of attack, but the fundamentals of security is not going to change, right? Because your system, which is going to be subject to a malware attack, will still be subject to a malware attack. Because at the end of the day, even a blockchain, the acceptance has to come through one of those systems, right? I'll probably stop it there and probably take one last question. How agile is the cyber laws in India? Are you seeing anything evolving how is it that there is a saying? I definitely know that the data protection bill was proposed and it is having some sort of
again, this is for you.
up and down.
you are taking the questions which you can answer. Let me go through and take one.
Okay, fair enough. So I think from a cybersecurity and the legal landscape, it is evolving.
Yeah.
So I'll probably will stop it with that. And maybe any other thing which you want to pick up those questions. That's why I'm giving that sort of benefit to you.
Okay, so I think Raghava has put it is mixed reality is mix of VR, real-time video, and AI. So mixed reality and AI, I'll just tell you how this is going to change the game. So there is a difference between VR and AI. VR is virtual reality where you feel you are in a world, but when you wear that, you feel that you are into some other world. Maybe you will feel like, okay, Switzerland, you are in Switzerland, you are in a jungle, but in AR, what will happen? You will feel that particular thing is there. So in my office cabin, Switzerland is there, or the battlefield is in my office ground. So what is the combination of AR and VR with the mixed reality is happening is that in next 4 to 5 years, you will have so much of wearables and you will able to practice everything with those variables that how you do in the real world. So what the concept of mixed reality in a way right now, if you play the video games, right, you may be a Sachin Tendulkar in the video games, but when you go to the ground, you may be out at zero. You will not even able to play. But with the mixed reality, the games will be enhanced in a way that you are practicing in your office with those variables in front of your TV or with the VR devices. When you go on field, if you can score here 100, you can score there 100. That much efficiency will come with the mixed reality with the combination of VR and ER. Yeah, so I will talk on emerging technologies, Narsima. Don't put legal, privacy, crypto, which is your topic. Okay.
Fair enough, Gaurav. On that ground, I think probably we'll call it off. I think we're at 7:30. Really appreciate the participants joining in. We had close to about 200, I think, at peak, and 210 or something at peak, and close to about 190 consistently until your thank you slide and a couple of feedback and thoughts, right? So on that note, I think it was a wonderful discussion. We had a lot of thoughts, a lot of insights, and in case you missed this session or your friends missed this session, do not worry. This YouTube session, this would be recorded and posted on YouTube. And if you're not following us through these social media channels, right, so please ensure you are either following us on Telegram, YouTube, or your favorite LinkedIn. And thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. And thank you, Gaurav. Really appreciate you on behalf of.
And next time we should do physical, man.
Yep. Yeah, we should be doing, but we're just being conscious, just that, people are slowly recovering. We still hear
maybe in 3-4 months.
Yeah, probably. I think it's a question of time because slowly offices are also starting off, on a phased manner to be face to face. But yes, really thanks and appreciate all of you taking your time off. Have a pleasant evening and have a great Sunday ahead. Thank you so much. Signing off. This is
Thank you, everyone. Take care. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you. Signing off. This is Narsimhan Ilangovan, your program director.